I know I say this every month, but where on earth did March go? Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So it's April tomorrow, God knows how that happened, so it's time for my March wrap up. This month was even worse than February, I'm not gonna lie. I have just been really busy this month and just haven't really found the time to read. Despite that, however, I have picked up a lot of books, just haven't finished very many. But let's do this anyway. So the first book I picked up this month was Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I want to reread this prior to the Invasion of the Tearling coming out in a couple of months. I'm very excited for that, so I did want to reread it, because even though I read it last summer, I can't really remember a whole lot of it, but I know I enjoyed it, so I do want to reread it in time for that coming out. But I didn't really get very far. I was enjoying it, but I think because I've been so busy, I just haven't had the time to just sit down and read it, so I really didn't get very far at all. And I think I'm just gonna hold off and read it kind of in the week prior to Invasion coming out, because I will be really excited for that, so I'll want to reread this then. That's the plan anyway. A couple of months ago I made a video about books I wanted to reread, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this next series in that, and it is Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I haven't read this series since before the 7th book came out, some of them a lot longer than that, and so I just wanted to reread it as an adult and kind of remember what I loved about the books. But I think you get to that point where if there's been a film adaptation of a book, the kind of lines blur between what was in the book and what was the film, and I just want to remember why I love the book so much. So I've been rereading it. I've finished Philosopher's Stone pretty quickly because it's so short. It's really weird rereading books that you loved when you were younger, especially when you haven't read it for so long. This book seems so childish now. I love it. I think it's still a great book and it's still really enjoyable, but just in terms of the writing style, it's so different to how the final end of the series is written, and it's really interesting, and I might do a video just about that whole thing, or maybe when I finish rereading the entire series I'll just do a video on the series as a whole. But it was really interesting, and I'm really glad I finally got around to starting to reread them. So having finished Philosopher's Stone, I moved on to The Chamber of Secrets. I haven't finished this one yet. I had issues finishing Chamber of Secrets first time I read it, I think, and so I think probably those same issues. I'm just struggling to get through it. It's not my favourite of the series by any means. That said, I will finish it at some point, and I know that as soon as I get into it, it will be finished in a flash because they are so short. But yeah, I just haven't got around to finishing it. This month I've also finally picked up Green Girl by Kate Zambrino. I've had this since probably October. I got it from Flubit for free for doing a review for them, and I am really loving it. It's really interesting. It's basically about this girl who she's living in London, and she is kind of really affected by kind of how she looks, and she's very judgmental of herself, and she judges other women a lot, and it's kind of just talking about that whole idea, and it's about kind of her sort of coming to that realization that she does do that, and trying to change, and it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. It's really well written. It's kind of, there's a very specific writing style, and it's structured in a very specific way, and I'm really enjoying it. I haven't finished it yet. Again, that is basically the tagline of March for me, but I am really enjoying it, and I will be finishing it soon. It's pretty easy to read, so yeah, hopefully by the end of next month I will have finished it. And finally this month I am reading Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I have been wanting to read this for quite a long time, but I kind of came late to Parks and Rec, and I wanted to get a reasonable way through that before I started reading this, and I've nearly finished it now. I think I've only got like a season left, so I've pretty much caught up to the point where this book was released, so that's why I decided to start reading it now. I'm loving it so much. I love Amy Poehler. She's just so awesome, and I find her hilarious, and she's just such a great actress and comedian, and writer, it turns out she's really awesome at writing a book, and it's really funny. I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, I don't have much to say on this yet because I'm only about a third of the way through, but I'm really enjoying it. It's amusing and funny, and it's just really interesting to hear about the whole how she kind of came to be on SNL and just her whole upbringing. Really, it's really interesting, and I read it and I sort of think, oh yeah, I can see myself in a lot of that, and it's really fascinating, so I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, it really wasn't a very successful month for me reading wise. I finished one book. I finished one book and started 4 others. So yeah, didn't do very well this month, but hopefully April I will manage to finish a load more. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do a wrap up next month because I'm going to be travelling, so I may do one, but it may be a bit blurry and in a totally different location, probably somewhere in Paris. But yeah, we'll see what's going on. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to film that, but I will talk more about what's going on with that in the next couple of weeks because yeah. Anyway, that's it for me today. I will see you again soon, but until then, bye!